A man in red pulled from a car while on vacation right in front of his wife. The man in handcuffs, a police chief on leave accused of sickening crimes.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm a little stiff.
Yeah. We're gonna go that way.
And a big twist from the person closest to him, his own wife, as the story behind this arrest is shocking. I'm Angenette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. Chad Essert has been a cop for more than 20 years, since 2003. In fact, he's been the top cop, the chief in a small village in Southwest Ohio since 2021. His record hasn't been completely spotless, and now it's forever tarnished. But the village he leads isn't waiting around. There are already big moves underway to force him out, and I'll have details for you on that a little later on. This after a grand jury in Claremont County, Ohio, east of Cincinnati, indicted Chad Essert on 70 felony charges related to allegations that he had sexual contact with a young girl during his time as a police officer. The prosecutor says the girl was part of the Young Marines, a program for kids and teens to learn about being in the Marines. The accuser is now a woman who's an accomplished Marine. The sheriff said she recently came forward and reported the allegations to detectives. Those allegations included claims that Essert wrestled with her and took her swimsuit bottom off when they were together in a pool. In all, the prosecutor says Essert committed sexual battery against the girl starting when she was 12, from 2005 to 2010, in 2 different counties. On June 11th, 2026, deputies in Pinellas County, Florida, tracked down Essert to pick him up on a warrant.
Clear.
Here's a view of that arrest from another angle, and then Essert's wife, she finds out what's happening.
Clear.
We can just pull her out. Yeah, we can just pull her out.
You want to stop out real quick? We're talking about no weapons on you? No. Just don't be reaching anywhere. We're good.
Okay.
Stand right here for a second. What's your name?
What's his name?
Get an idea. I can just grab it out of the phone. It's upstairs. You got your phone on you?
No, it's in the car.
Okay.
Can someone come here?
Yeah, he's got warrants.
Warrants for what?
We're good to tell her what everything's for? Rape of children.
But children. Who is?
It's not our investigation. It's probably why he was placed on investigation from the department.
And how you say your first name?
46 counts of rape, I believe.
48?
46, I believe, and 12 of a minor, I think it was.
What's your last name? Ma'am? You want to sit down? Here. Is this top of front? Here, sit right here. Here. Sit down. Grab a seat. It's all good. Take a seat for a minute. What's your last name? Sorry.
We got to get some information from you. If you've got your purse in there, grab it off there.
Chad Essert's wife is clearly in shock. She's just been told that her husband, a police chief, had warrants out for his arrest for sex crimes. Deputies in Pinellas County, Florida, where Essert and his wife were on vacation, go with his wife to the condo where they are staying. She's understandably distraught.
You guys go to the beach today?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I'm assuming it's a lot different here than it is back in Ohio. Here, I'm gonna throw this in the fridge so they don't spoil, if you don't mind. Yeah. All right. So, do you understand the charges that he's got and what's going on?
What are they?
I don't have the background information on those.
You don't know if it was recent or if it was like.
I don't know.
I've been with them for 8 years. I've never expected anything like that. It makes me so sick.
I can unfortunately tell you that I work a lot of these cases with incidents like this, and the people who do this stuff, the people that they surround themselves with, their loved ones, they never know typically. So that's just the way these cases unfortunately work. But with all that being said, he's got those charges. He's going to be extradited back to Ohio to answer for those.
What court? What county?
I'm not sure what county it'll probably be. It will be the location where the crimes originated at. So I would imagine it's going to be your home county. However, that is me just making an assumption. So take that for what it is. Okay? So, but all that being said, you've got you've got your banking information, and your driver's license, keys, fob, and your phone. I would suggest, you got a sister. Yeah, this is rough. I can tell, and I'm not a great at bedside manner stuff, so I'm trying to do the best I can here. You need to talk to a family member or somebody who you're close with, so when we leave, you're okay. So do you have somebody that we can line up that you can give a call to or whatnot?
All I have is my mother-in-law.
Okay. May not be the best person to talk to at this time.
Running a business is tough enough, but why make it harder doing things manually or relying on dozens of apps that don't talk to each other? That's where our sponsor, Odoo, comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management platform with a full suite of integrated apps that seamlessly connect all of your operations from sales and accounting to manufacturing and even shipping. Odoo can automatically generate professional, sleek-looking sales orders, invoices, and vendor bills, and it can automatically assign sales teams, send email updates through each sales stage, and even use AI to pull reports that help with your decision-making. For manufacturing, their apps can sync inventory with real-time production and purchase updates so you never run out of stock. And when it comes time for accounting, that's also fully automated. Odoo can create invoices, track expenses, and even summarize data with AI to save you hundreds of hours. The best part? You can choose your apps and even build custom workflows so it's all fully tailored to your business needs. Take your business to the next level by consulting with an Odoo expert today for free at odoo.com/crimefix. When deputies picked up Chad Essert on the warrant for the 70 sex crimes charges out of Ohio, he was on family medical leave, spending time in Florida. He and his wife had been at the beach. Deputies snapped this photo of Essert wearing a t-shirt marked "Day Drinkin' like Abe Lincoln." Chad Essert was booked into the Pinellas County Jail in Florida. He waived extradition back to Ohio to answer to the 56 counts of sexual battery and 14 counts of unlawful sexual conduct with a minor. He arrived back in Ohio on the evening of Thursday, June 18th.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm a little stiff.
Yeah. We're gonna go that way.
A little stiff.
I can imagine.
It's like, okay. My legs weren't working yet. They weren't working as fast, I guess I should say.
Alright, you guys gonna stick for a felony?
No.
Hey, George Livingston? Been in a car accident market last 24 hours. Any serious medical or mental health issues need attention?
I got some mental health things, I got some medicine I didn't talk to her about. Okay, yeah, I girl with it.
Yeah.
But nothing not great.
Yeah. You recently considered it suicide?
No. What did you ask me?
You recently considered it suicide? You hurt yourself or someone else?
No.
You undergot radiation chemotherapy last 6 months?
No.
Your pacemaker?
No.
You take anything to substance or medical therapy?
No.
Alright, this officer's gonna patch you up.
Essert appeared in court to answer to the charges. In one of the courtrooms, he may have testified in at one point as a witness for the state.
Mr. Clark, are you entering a plea of not guilty on his behalf?
Yes, Judge. All counts.
Thank you. All right. Not guilty plea is entered.
Prosecutors say Essert, a one-time young Marine instructor, abused his position to target a girl in the program over those 5 years, starting when she was 12.
Using that status, he became involved with the Young Marines program and later obtained employment as a junior ROTC instructor and substitute teacher at Great Oaks, again placing himself in positions of influence over young people, including the victim. The defendant gained these positions holding himself out as, again, active duty Marine infantry reservist who was moving up in rank, when in reality he had refused to attend various drills as well as infantry school, resulting in an administrative other than honorable discharge. The allegations describe a prolonged pattern of grooming and sexual exploitation by the defendant rather than a single lapse in judgment. The conduct is alleged to have continued for years and across multiple counties.
Prosecutors say they have witnesses that corroborated some communications and interactions between the two. The judge set Essert's bail at $500,000. He can put up property to post some of that. So I want to bring in Jay Clark. He is representing Chad Essert on these charges out of Claremont County, Ohio. Jay, thanks for coming on. I know that your client, the police chief, he's possibly going to be the former police chief very soon, has pleaded not guilty to these charges. Talk to me a little bit about how you got involved in this case.
I guess the short version of that is when the charges were announced, his ex-wife filed papers in their divorce case to try to modify the custody arrangement they had. That attorney that office referred him to me.
Okay. He has entered a not guilty plea, obviously. These allegations go back to 2005 through 2010. So this is a pretty old case, going back as long as 21 years.
Right.
He's saying he didn't do it, but the prosecution is saying they have some communications between this accuser and your client. They have some witnesses to corroborate some things in this case. What is your response to that?
I think that might be somewhat accurate and somewhat a wish list. I think that there might be witnesses to communications between them, but I think if they drill down based on what I've been told, those are going to be communications from the accuser to Chad, not coming from Chad to her. It's going to be her reaching out to him.
You mentioned in court that she had reached out to him after that 5-year period between 2005 and 2010. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail because I think that would be important for our trial. But after she graduated from high school in 2010 and joined the Marines, she reached out to him in the years not too long after that when she came back home to Cincinnati on leave. I'll just leave it at that for now.
Do you have evidence to support that, electronic evidence?
Maybe. It's important now that he's out, he can have access to where that might be stored.
So he's posted bail.
He posted bail. I found out, what time is it? It's about 11:45. I got a text message from his wife about a half an hour ago saying, I've got him. So he's out now.
So he's posted bail. He's free on bail. He'll be able to meet with you more freely and assist with his defense.
Right.
Without violating privilege or anything like that, what was his reaction to this? I mean, obviously he's a police officer. He didn't resist arrest. We saw the body camera footage. We showed it earlier here in the podcast of him being arrested, but his wife was distraught. I mean, we saw the body camera footage. I mean, she was very upset, and she was beside herself.
They had no idea that any of this was coming. There was no one had contacted them, reached out to them, or whatever. They were in Florida for other reasons. They'd been down there for a couple of weeks, and they were leaving where they were staying, I think at an Airbnb maybe, to go to the grocery store and get some food for dinner when he was arrested. He waived extradition. She immediately got on the phone when everything started happening legally, got an attorney in the divorce case, contacted me, and has been like working towards getting us where we are now and ultimately to trial probably.
So his wife is standing by him and supporting him.
Absolutely. He had yesterday for the arraignment, there were, I think, a half a dozen people there supporting him. I know his wife, his mother, his mother-in-law, an aunt, and there were a couple other ladies who I did not meet who were there supporting him as well. He has a lot of family support here.
Which is important. This accuser, she seems to be, from what we know, and she's spoken publicly, not to me, but to somebody else. And she's been out there to be somebody who is a decorated Marine at some level, lives in another state, has a family. I mean, how do you plan to challenge that? Because that seems like somebody who could be a very credible accuser.
She could be, and all I'll say is she could be. I think there's a difference between the allegations and what she says the relationship was like and what the relationship she really wanted was. And I'm not going to say more than that, but the thing I will point out is she didn't contact the police, the prosecutors, the sheriff's department. She got her 15 minutes of fame on a YouTube channel with somebody here locally. In fact, even in that interview, she said, I don't want anything to happen to him. I'm not out for that. I just want people to be aware. And so I don't know if she's now gotten more than she intended by going on that YouTube and doing that interview, based on the detail that the prosecutors mentioned in court yesterday in the allegations. She's obviously said more to somebody than what's in the YouTube video because I've watched. So they've got dates and times. They apparently have locations because the prosecutor represented it happened in Claremont, Hamilton, Warren County, I believe. So there's another statement out there somewhere that I'm sure I'll get in discovery. But how it came up, why it came up, I don't know. And again, appearances can be deceiving. That's why they have cross-examination.
So your client is saying there was nothing constituting sexual battery, unlawful sexual conduct, nothing at all. In this interview that you referenced, she made reference to her swimsuit bottom being taken off, some touching, things of that nature. And you're saying right now that he's saying that didn't happen?
Yes, ma'am.
He's got, he had some other things going on in his position with the city or the village of Bethel, I should say. There was an allegation and there was an investigation completely separate from this, totally separate, where it was found that he committed no crimes. He was, I guess, under investigation for using his cruiser to drive up to Dayton to interact with a woman up there who was on OnlyFans and have some interaction with her. And he was not found to have any, he was found to have committed no crime there. And
Right.
that's, it seems like the smoke from that kind of led to this investigation. Do you think that I'm hearing rumblings that more may be coming from this? What are your thoughts on that? Or what would you say to that there may be more women or people coming forward?
When you have a case like this, that's one of our, I don't want to say fears, but that's one of the things we have to be conscious of or aware of, that an initial allegation and there are several others that follow. It's a little different here because we're at 10 days, 11 days now since the indictment was announced. He was arrested in Florida, and it's been in the news almost every day since. And what was conspicuously absent, at least yesterday, in the prosecutor representation, when asked by the judge, what proof do you have of these counts being 15, 20 years old? There was nothing where the state suggested anybody else had come forward with similar allegations. Under 404B, those could be very, very good evidence for them. So 10 days in, we don't have anybody else that I'm aware of who's come forward. Doesn't mean it won't happen, doesn't mean it can't, but it also doesn't mean that if somebody comes forward, they're telling the truth.
And just so our viewers who are watching this are aware, 404B evidence is evidence of other bad acts or similar bad acts. So
normally you can't put in what they call prior bad acts unless it shows a pattern. So if there, for example, was another student in another program somewhere else where he was involved who came forward and made the same allegation, that would be an example of 404B type evidence.
Has anybody from the program, the Young Marines program, where he was a teacher or an instructor, come forward to you since these allegations have been made public and since you've become his lawyer and it's been public that you're representing him? We all just kind of found out in the last day and a half or so. So has anybody from that program come forward to you?
I'll say right now, as far as I know, no. I have double-digit voicemails that I've not had a chance to answer since yesterday afternoon. I've not checked email. That said, it's my understanding that the Young Marines program no longer exists. So I don't know if there's somebody in the area or I don't know if there's anybody even around to comment. I have a long to-do list. Trying to find that information is on it.
So right now he's free on bail. You're just going to await getting the discovery, going through that, looking through the witness statements and various electronic evidence that might be out there, and going from here.
That's really all we can do. On these older, what I call historical cases, a lot of times it just comes down to what we've all heard, he said, she said. And the more time that passes, the more that seems to be the universe of evidence you have to work with. If he's got some emails or electronic communications this much after the fact, that would be great. It would also be very surprising because just the passage of time. So it might very well just come down to her testimony and his.
So a he said, she said is what you think, or he said, she said, they said.
Basically. I know I've been given several witnesses to reach out and contact. I haven't obviously had a chance. I was in court all day yesterday. I'm not just going to sit and wait for the discovery. I've got our investigation that we'll start on as well.
Are you going to be representing him at all in this effort by the village mayor out there in Bethel to remove him?
I can say right now, and I'm not being an attorney when I say this, I don't represent him now in that. I don't know that I will at all because civil service is a very specialized area, if you will, and it's not something I have any experience in really. So I'm going to say probably not. I probably won't end up on that. If he wants me to find him somebody, I'm sure I can find him good counsel to represent him on
Is
that.
he planning to fight that? Do you know?
Honestly, I don't know, because when I spent 3 hours with him on Sunday and just a few minutes with him yesterday after court, because the sheriff did not allow us to have a private privileged communication, we had to have our conversation in front of a deputy with his body worn camera recording it. So I didn't talk to him about anything of substance yesterday afternoon. I don't know if he's going to fight it or not. Now that he's out, the goal up to yesterday was get him arraigned and get a bond and see if we can get him out.
All right. Well, we will keep an eye on the case and see what happens with it. Jay Clark, thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
So what happens to his job in all of this? Well, Bethel Mayor J.D. Noble says he is deeply disturbed by the arrest and has already begun the process to force Essert out. Under Ohio law, if a mayor believes a police chief engaged in unacceptable behavior, he or she must file written charges with the village council. Noble says he intends to file those charges as soon as legally possible. From there, the council holds a hearing after the charges are served, and council members can vote on whether to remove him. Essert is scheduled to return to court on July 7th. If convicted on all charges, he could face up to 280 years in prison. But as you heard, he has posted bail and he is free on bail right now. So we'll keep you posted on what happens in this case. That's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.